Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, we're building a pretty unique but powerful workstation PC. So, let's get these out of the way, and let's talk about the case we're going to use in this build, because yes, for once, the case is the highlight of our build. This is a fully custom NZXT H510, properly nicknamed the H510 Cute Edition. Alright guys, I want to take a second to talk about this. This is actually the inspiration for this themed build, and this is actually a graphics card. This pink and blue adorable monstrosity is the RX 580 2048 SP Cute Pet Edition. Pinks, blues, cute, adorable, amazing, awesome. I love this graphics card, and this build's going to be awesome. So, let's move on to our platform. This is the Asus Prime X399A, because there's nothing cuter than overkill. So, let's get this thing opened up and see what we're doing for today's build. This is one of the most feature-rich motherboards that I have, and this thing is huge. Yep, it was decided that this would be the perfect motherboard and CPU combo for this build. The CPU mounted inside this currently is a Ryzen Threadripper 2920X. There's a 12-core, 24-thread CPU with 64 PCIe lanes on top of, well, everything else you see on this board. Alright guys, let's talk about RAM for a second. This is 3 kits of Trident Z Royal. This stuff is basically the gold standard of memory. Now, the first thing I want to do with these brand new sticks of Trident Z Royal is I just want to peel off the plastic. Sexy. We are going to be using 6 sticks of this Trident Z Royal. Each one of these gold and or silver plated DIMMs is 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3200 megahertz. And between the 6 sticks that we're using in today's build, that leaves us with a total of 96 gigabytes of RAM. Remember when I said overkill is adorable? I meant it. Now, real quick, you're probably wondering why I'm using 6 sticks of Trident Z Royal for a motherboard that has, well, 8 RAM slots and only supports quad channel, not 6 channel. Well, it's because that's the max amount of this RAM that I could actually afford. So we're going to be running in triple channels, so that is 3 channels of memory with 2 DIMMs per channel. Wow, isn't that something? So now that we have our RAM installed, it's time to move on to our cooler. I think you're gonna like this. This is the ID Cooling PinkFlow 240. And despite its stupid name, this is actually just a pretty basic 240mm AIO. Except that, much like the other parts of this build, it's freaking adorable. This is one of the very few completely white radiator and AIO combos, and it is pretty cute, and it is perfect for this build. And bonus points, it's got a heart on it. Now you will find links to all the parts that I used in this video in the description below if you're interested in purchasing any of these components. Now this AIO came with these adorable pink and white fans that I'll actually be using in this build today, but I won't be using them on the radiator. I will be using them on the back and top of the case, and I'll be using different fans on the radiator because I feel that these fit the aesthetic better. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is get this radiator mounted to this board. Now Threadripper's cooler installation is pretty easy, but this AIO does not use any standard mounting. It uses its own weird and flimsy mounting hardware, so I'll be installing that, and then I'm going to install this board and AIO combo into our case. Cue the tacky build montage. Alright guys, it took a good bit, but I'm actually really happy with how the cable management turned out on this build. This looks amazing. This is the backside, and I feel bad we don't see a lot of it, but you don't see it because this doesn't have a glass side panel, but that's totally fine. I just want to show you guys what we were doing back here with the cable management. As for our boot drive today, this is only a 256GB SATA SSD, but it is from a Data, which has an adorable little hummingbird on it, so I thought that was the perfect drive to use for this build. And also, as you may have seen in the little montage there, I did install a tiny little 512GB NVMe SSD in the vertical M.2 slot. Alright, I'm going to close up the side panel, and hopefully all of our cables still fit. That is completely flush. There's no bowing, there's nothing. This is perfect. But while the backside is, well, pretty impressive, I think the main event is around front. This is adorable and sexy. And we don't even have our graphics card installed. So let's get that in here and let's finish up this build so we can get some testing done. Wait, where is my card? Oh yeah. There it is. This, again, is the CUTEST RX 580, and we are going to just slot that in. And just like that, our build is completely finished. This has been one of my favorite builds by far, and I think it has been one of my most successful, but I'll let the boot process be the judge of that. So, let's plug this thing in and see if it's going to be one of the very few PCs that actually boots on the first try. Alright guys. Moment of truth. Power supply's on. Hopefully there's lights on inside. Alright, here we go, guys. Alright, guys, let's see if we boot right up into our Windows SSD here on the back, the Data 240GB. Oh god. No Windows. I don't want to get more out of Windows. I already have enough Windows. I actually brought one more accessory that I think goes with the theme of the build really well. While Windows is getting devices ready, whatever that means, this is a blue Xbox 360 Rock Candy controller. And it's actually got a pink end, so blue and pink kind of fits in the theme with the build. I'm just going to plug that into our only USB-A port on top. And then we have a nice little gaming rig here. Alright, this screen is utterly terrible. But, as I can see from the top left in my MSAP drawer, the PC is actually working as intended. So, let's get rid of that. And that's about it. This build has been one of the most successful builds. Like I said, it worked first try. All the RAM was detected at the right speed. Our CPU stays nice and cool. Now it's a Threadripper with a cooler that doesn't cover the whole IHS, so it's not amazing, but it definitely works. So I'm extremely happy with how this build turns out. It is adorable and it is beautiful. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. If you eat shit, I want to film it. Well, I don't say shit.
I would hit the camera, but both my hands are taken.